In other news tonight, some disturbing new details are emerging about a 6-year-old boy's horrifying death that prosecutors say happened at the hands of his babysitter.
The father of young Chance Crawford calls the suspect a monster. Sandra Mitchell joins us from the KTLA News Center with what she's learned about the case. Sandy.
Well, we have learned that the suspect in the case does have a violent criminal record, including charges of child abuse and endangerment. In the Cerritos Park, where Chance Crawford celebrated his 5th birthday, there is a growing memorial today. His dad tells KTLA Chance was a happy child.
Chance was like a bright kid, just very outgoing, smart, funny, and just love just talking about just a whole bunch of things.
But today there are disturbing new details after investigators say Chance was killed by an abusive babysitter. 41-year-old Ernest Lamar Love now charged with murder, torture, and child abuse. And KTLA has confirmed Love does have a previous criminal record. Back in 2016, he was charged with corporal injury on a child. He was found not guilty of that, but was found guilty of child abuse and endangerment, corporal injury on a spouse, and disorderly conduct, now charged with killing little Chance.
Love is accused of beating the first grader with a piece of lumber and then pouring hydrogen peroxide on his open wounds before making him do push-ups, sit-ups, and jumping jacks until the boy collapsed.
Investigators say Love met the child's mother at Amazing Church in Lake Elsinore. A church leader says Love was suspended from the church because of inappropriate relationships with women. A former church member who wants to remain anonymous tells me the alleged killer was part of the children's ministry, and he had an anger issue.
I know he was kind of stern from what I noticed, and he was also, he would get angry about different things. But I never really seen him take it out on the kids.
Chance's mother says she once considered Love a friend, and she trusted him with her child. Love is being held without bail.
He's a monster. He's a monster. I'm sorry. He deserved whatever it is that God gives him. I'm going to let God handle him.
So that suspect, Lamar Love, has made his first court appearance. Again, no bail in the case. If he's convicted, he could face life in prison without parole. Live in News Center, I'm Sandra Mitchell. Rick and Cher, back to you.
Hi, and welcome back to Nikki Scoops. Today, I will be talking about a few different cases about child neglect. If this is a touchy topic to watch, feel free to watch my other videos. I will be discussing the case of a mom who left her child with a close friend while she went to work, only for him to be rushed to the hospital several hours later, claiming he fell, but had actually been beaten to death in a fit of rage. Love met Chance's mom at Lake Elsinore Church called Amazing Church. Chance's mother said she once considered Love a friend and felt he was trustworthy around her son, never imagining that he was a monster in disguise. This all occurred in Los Angeles, California. A 41-year-old man, later identified as Ernest Lamar Love, was taken into custody and later charged with murder and other charges in connection with the death of 6-year-old Chance Crawford. He was babysitting while the victim's mom was working at the local hospital. Authorities say the man beat the child to death because he became upset after the child peed his pants. The investigation process began last week after the child's mom left her son, Chance, with a close friend of hers before she went to work. Several hours later, the man brought the boy to the hospital with life-threatening injuries, claiming he fell. The hospital staff told investigators that the child was missing skin from his behind and had raw wounds on the body part. The boy also had brain swelling. The child remained in critical condition until Tuesday, when he passed away. During the investigation process, Authorities reportedly discovered that the 41-year-old man was seen on surveillance video grabbing a big piece of wood while the little boy followed him. Authorities say the man beat the child severely before putting hydrogen peroxide on the open wounds. Instead of calling 911 or providing medical help for the boy, the 41-year-old man forced the child to do sit-ups and jumping jacks. Shortly after, the boy became unconscious. Even then, the man didn't call 911, but instead he drove the boy to the ER. The 41-year-old man pleaded not guilty to the charges, court records say. The victim's family launched a fundraiser to collect money for funeral expenses, which stated that the boy was a gifted child and had so much life to live. We're devastated by the loss of our beautiful, sweet, kind, bright, and shining star. This pain is horrible, and our family will never recover from the loss.
This next case is very disturbing. A woman is accused of trying to drown her daughter and nephew at an Oklahoma City pool.
She's now facing criminal charges. News 4's Natalie Clydesdale has new details on the case, including what witnesses told police.
One witness told police Ontiveros didn't seem concerned about the children when a lifeguard was giving them CPR and said she was actually smiling during the incident. A newly filed probable cause affidavit revealing disturbing allegations against 34-year-old Flor Ontiveros. Oklahoma City police were called to the Will Rogers Family Aquatic Center in late June after a 4-year-old girl and 6-year-old boy were rescued from the pool and revived by lifeguards. A witness told officers he saw Ontiveros holding her nephew's entire head and body underneath the water, and multiple people were yelling at her. Both children were rushed to a hospital and fortunately are okay now. Just this week, Ontiveros' 4-year-old daughter told investigators that June day her mother had pushed her face underwater and said her mother had attempted to force her to swallow water. When asked about it, investigators say Ontiveros told them she was innocent. However, allegedly confessed later, quote, this was something she could have done. She was booked in the Oklahoma County Jail for 2 counts of child abuse by injury. In Oklahoma City, Natalie Clydesdale, Oklahoma's News 4.
And jail records say the woman's bond is set at $100,000.
An Oklahoma woman is in jail after she allegedly tried to drown her young daughter and nephew at the Will Rogers Aquatic Center earlier this summer as people nearby pleaded for her to stop. Flor Estela Ontiveros, 34, is facing 2 counts of child abuse from the June 27th incident in Oklahoma City. According to court documents filed Thursday, a witness told police Ontiveros held her nephew's entire body and head underneath the water, and multiple people were yelling at her. The documents say a few months after the incident, police spoke with the 4-year-old girl who told them her mother had pushed her face underwater and that her eyes were open and she was breathing water. The young girl also told police that her mother had attempted to force her to swallow water. The lifeguard was able to revive the kids, and first responders took them to the hospital where they received treatment. Both children were administered CPR as they were both unresponsive at that time. Police noted that Ontiveros was smiling and speaking calmly about the incident, and a witness told police she was also smiling during the incident. Ontiveros was also interviewed again a few months after the incident. Police noted she was adamant that this was something she did not do, however confessed that this was something she could have done. Ontiveros is currently behind bars at the Oklahoma County Detention Center with her bond now set at $250,000. I don't know what goes on in the mind of some individuals, but this one here really has my blood boiling. This happened at the Miami intersection on Thursday, August 22nd. According to NBC's South Florida affiliate WTVJ, the mother sustained a skull fracture and a brain bleed, and her infant suffered a forehead laceration after an Amazon delivery driver struck both the mom and baby. Police said both were treated at Memorial Regional Hospital. The suspect was arrested and charged with leaving the scene of a crash with serious bodily injury. WTVJ reported that the suspect was an Amazon delivery driver and that she was arrested after officers interviewed a witness whose security cameras recorded the crash. Amazon spokesman had this to say about the incident: "This is a terrible incident and our thoughts are with the family. We're looking into the matter and will support law enforcement in their investigation. The driver in question is no longer delivering on behalf of Amazon. Sending prayers to family and wishing mom and baby a healthy and speedy recovery."
A Good Samaritan is captured on camera cradling 1-year-old Cassidy Mills. It is 8:30 Thursday night when she finds this child alone, crying and injured by a Hialeah street.
Hey, are you okay?
She tries to call 911.
Hello?
As she speaks to a dispatcher, police say the child's mother, Tashay Mills, drives up and forcibly takes her daughter from the woman.
Hello, I need you to come. I need you to come. I'm the mama. Okay, I'm not giving you this baby. That is my baby. Okay, but oh my God, I need you guys to come.
Police respond to Northwest 54th Street and 37th Avenue, where this happened.
We received a call that a 1-year-old child was thrown from a moving vehicle. The witness who observed it was behind them. She saw a child on the ground, physically hurt. She picked up the child. She moved to a safer location off the road where she attempted to help her and call 911.
The mother leaves with her daughter, and this leads to a missing child alert from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and a plea for help finding the child in a pajama shirt and shorts with braided hair. It scrapes on her forehead and above her left eye. They also appeal for help finding the 29-year-old mother and her 2016 red Chevrolet Malibu that they were in. They checked her last known address here in Northwest Miami-Dade. After a 15-hour search, police say they located the mother in Miramar and her daughter Cassidy in Opa-locka. The child was taken to a hospital. As police make this point:
this will not be tolerated in our city.
The dramatic video captured the moment a mother grabbed her 1-year-old daughter from a witness who saw the child fall out of a moving car in Hialeah in an incident that led to a missing child alert before the girl was found safe. The bizarre incident unfolded Thursday night when Hialeah police said the little girl, who was a passenger in her mother's car, somehow fell out. A concerned witness who observed the child alone, crying and appearing injured, immediately intervened, police said. While she was on the phone, 29-year-old Tashay Mills, the girl's mother, allegedly came back and forcibly took the child from the witness and left, which prompted a missing child alert from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and a plea for help finding the child in a pajama shirt and shorts with braided hair and scrapes on her forehead and above her left eye. As she was on the phone with dispatcher, you can hear the witness speaking, "Hey, are you okay?" "It's okay, I'm gonna sit down." "Oh my God," the woman says in the video. "Hello? I need you to come. I need you to come." After fleeing from the scene, police checked her last known address in Northwest Miami-Dade. After about a 15-hour search, police say they located the mother in Miramar and her daughter Cassidy in Opa-locka. The child was taken to a hospital. Hialeah police say the mother is in custody. She could face charges that include child abuse and neglect. As for the child, the mother's grandparents say little Cassidy is going to be okay.
Lexington police today spent some time inside this daycare. It was behind this building where police found this one-year-old boy unresponsive. The daycare owner provided us with some information and a timeline of events. She says the child who died was in fact a student at the daycare, but that he did not show up yesterday. Their policy is that if a child is not there by 8:45, a message is sent to the parent asking where is the child, which was done in this case, they say, at 9 a.m. They did not hear back from the mom. At 5:20 yesterday, the daycare says this mom showed up to pick up her child and became agitated when told he wasn't there. At that point, the director said to the mom, "If your son isn't here, where would you have left him?" At that point, the mom ran out to her car and found the baby unresponsive.
It's just so sad. It's so sad. It's, and I've kind of started to get some of the details, and it's just one of these awful things you hear about that is just terrible. Like it gives me a pit in my stomach just thinking about it.
Most of the time, this is just parents who didn't mean to. And it's just the worst.
Amber Rollins is the director of Kids and Car Safety. She's been studying the issue of kids left in locked cars for 20 years and says it started becoming a problem in the 1990s when parents began putting children in the back seat.
When you think about this, you've got a young child who's in a rear-facing car seat. You can't see him from the driver's seat. You can't hear him because they all fall asleep the second you start driving. This is something you just don't recover from.
Authorities in Massachusetts are investigating the death of a baby who was found in a hot car. Emergency crews were called to a daycare in Lexington on Tuesday after a 1-year-old boy was found unresponsive inside a vehicle. Lexington police said the mother thought the child had been dropped off at the Sol Solicito daycare that morning. Sol Solicito's owner, Nelly Mayorga, said the child who died was a student at the center, but he did not show up. Mayorga said their policy is that if a child is not there by 8:45 a.m., a message is sent to the parent asking about the child's whereabouts. This was completed, but the daycare said it did not hear back from the boy's mother. Later that evening, Mayorga said the boy's mother showed up to pick up her child. However, she became agitated when the team told her that he wasn't there. Mayorga said the mom then ran out to her car after the staff asked where her son could be if he wasn't at the daycare, and she found him unresponsive. The boy, whose name wasn't immediately released, was rushed to an area hospital where he was pronounced dead. It's just so sad. It's just one of these awful things you hear about. It gives me a pit in my stomach just thinking about it, said fellow daycare parent Jason Fligg. Authorities said they are still investigating what happened, but if the mother indeed somehow forgot to drop her child off at the daycare, then he was in the car all day. When you think about this, you've got a young child who is in a rear-facing car seat. You can't see them from the driver's seat. You can't hear them because they all fall asleep the second you start driving, Amber Rollins, director of Kids and Car Safety, said. This is something that you just don't recover from. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner will determine the cause of death for the child. After reading about this story, it's puzzling to me for a parent to not be aware of where their child or children are at all times. So the whole day she assumed her son was at daycare and he was in the back seat of the car. This is a very hard pill to swallow, and this happens too frequently. We need to be more conscientious for this particular reason. Very sad case. Sending my condolences and prayers to the family of this young baby boy.
It's happened again. A child gets a hold of an unsecured gun and shoots themselves. Tonight, that 3-year-old boy is in the hospital. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kimberly Gill.
And I'm Damon Fernandez in for Devin Skillian. It happened in the area of St. Patrick Avenue and Elmo Street. That's near the Connor and Gratiot intersection. That's near City Airport on Detroit's east side. Our Jacqueline Francis was on the scene and is live from police headquarters with the latest on this investigation. Jacqueline?
That 3-year-old is in critical condition after being shot in the face. It all happened after the mom put down her gun for just a few minutes.
They're toddlers or kids. They're going to be curious. This was a matter of minutes.
Chief James White was on scene Friday afternoon to give an update.
We're here way too many times talking about this.
A child just 3 years old sent to the hospital in critical condition after getting a hold of their mother's gun.
If you're going to have a gun, which so many people do for various reasons, you also have what's called responsibility.
Chief says the mom had just gotten home from work and set the gun down on the dresser.
There is a storage lock box in the home. Why the gun wasn't in there, we don't know. What they typically do and what happened are irrelevant at this point because they left the gun in a position to cause injury to this child.
The chief says charges will be forthcoming.
It's just a sad situation, and I hope that, I don't wish that on nobody or nobody kids, or that's just a tragic, you know what I mean? I'm sorry for her, you know what I mean? I know she's going through it, but this is a small mistakes that cost us the big ones.
A neighbor who knows the family reacting to the news.
Just to all parents out there, any gun holders, any gun owners, please get yourself a lock for it. The police stations, they got them free all day long. All you gotta do is ask for them.
It really is that easy. I stopped into a Detroit precinct today. They gave me this for free. It took less than a minute. Detroit police are going to be handing these out tomorrow for free, and free food. That's an event being put on at Rouge Park from 11 to 3 tomorrow. Again, that's being put on by Detroit Police. Free food, free gun locks, and other resources. Reporting live from Detroit Police Headquarters, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
Yeah, such an unfortunate situation. Thank you, Jacqueline.
38-year-old Tiara Sharday Taylor has been charged with safe storage violations after a 3-year-old accidentally shot himself on Detroit's east side on Friday, September 6th, at a home near St. Patrick Avenue near Connor Street. After the mother arrived home, she placed her gun on the dresser. Shortly thereafter, officials said the little boy got a hold of it and shot himself in the face. When officers arrived, they found the 3-year-old boy with a gunshot wound to the head and was immediately taken to the hospital and is now in critical condition and is expecting to recover. Police said the firearm was unsecured. The mother reportedly told police she had just returned home from work, placed the gun on the dresser, and within minutes, the boy found it and shot himself. Tiara Sharday Taylor was charged Sunday with a safe storage violation that led to an injury, a 5-year felony. Her bond was set at $250,000.
We're following breaking news now out of Detroit. The mother of a 3-year-old child who shot himself with an unsecured gun now faces charges under Michigan's safe storage law. 38-year-old Tiara Taylor faces up to 5 years in prison if convicted. That shooting happened last week Friday on St. Patrick Street in Detroit. Police say the mother had just come home from work and set her gun down on the dresser. The child got a hold of the gun and within minutes accidentally shot himself in the head. Investigators tell us the child is expected to survive after being grazed by the bullet.